Shrey. Very good question. Hello, good morning, students. Hello. Hello. Are you able to? Hello, students. Are you there? Where are we?
Yes, ma'am. We're here.
Yeah. Are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes. So today we will discuss. Yesterday we were discussing about the interaction diagrams. Within interaction diagrams, we saw state diagram and activity diagram. So today we will discuss how to draw the state diagram and activity diagrams using virtual labs. Okay, any doubt in the previous class portions, module 1 and 2? If you have any doubt, we can clarify the doubt, then we can move to the virtual lab. If you have any doubt, today's class is doubt clarification class only. Any doubt in the previous class portion? Vamsi Reddy? Okay, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what you are seeing?
PPT of virtual labs.
Yes. So any doubt in process models or UML diagrams?
No, ma'am.
Okay, yesterday I got a doubt from WhatsApp message. Doubt in process model. Somebody asked, they like to know this assignment. I asked to explain 7 process models. Yeah, how many process models we discussed in our PPT slide? We discussed 6 process models. So any doubt in the module 2 portions? Any doubt in module 2 portions? Sri. Okay, any doubt in the module 2 portions?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, in module 2, we were discussing about the introduction to UML and modeling concepts. Then the UML diagrams, examples. So the same thing, what is UML, modeling concepts, And modeling, we can see system as a whole, various models and views. So that we discussed. Then we discussed the various models like class diagrams, object diagrams, and the various diagrams, the same 9 diagrams that we can create using UML. Then we discussed use case, domain model, and design models. So any doubt in those topics, you want to repeat any topic? So yesterday also we discussed the basic building blocks of UML, like the basic building blocks like things, relationships, UML diagrams. So any doubt in these concepts? Shall we proceed with
Proceed, ma'am.
Sri? Yeah, yesterday's class also we discussed state diagrams, activity diagrams, and component diagrams. So the same thing. So today we will see how we can design the state diagrams and activity diagrams. If no doubts, we can no doubts in theory, we can go with how to design state diagrams, activity diagrams, and deployment diagrams using uh, virtual labs. Okay, shall we proceed with virtual labs?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Are you able to see the virtual lab website?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what you are seeing?
At top, it's data structures.
Yeah, the
Labs.
virtual lab main page, no? Yeah,
Yes,
if we
ma'am.
go to virtual lab main page. So if you go to the main page of virtual lab, you will find all the labs. Say we need to select the software engineering lab. If you click on software engineering lab, it will bring you to the software engineering virtual lab. Can you able to see the virtual lab main page, software engineering virtual page? Which page you are seeing now?
Software engineering virtual lab.
Yeah, if you go to software engineering virtual lab, you will find the what are the things we can do with the software engineering. So according to our syllabus, so yeah, they given listed out the virtual lab experiments. So in that we were discussing about state chart diagram and activity diagram. It says number 6. So if you click on that, that will bring you huh? Wait for the wait for the So if you click on software engineering virtual lab, that will bring you to state chart and activity modeling page. Are you able to see the state chart and activity modeling page?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in a state chart and activity page, they given you, so they given you all the components. So we have an introduction part there. They will explain you what is a state chart. So they given you the details about a state chart. Capturing the dynamic view of the system is very important for developer to develop the logic for a system. So it means that by using state chart diagram and activity diagram, we can create the dynamic models of our system. So we know very well there are two types of modeling, say static modeling and dynamic modeling. Static modeling means the static declaration components, say the classes, and the various internal functions that can be represented by using static models that takes the constant value. So the runtime behavior or the state transitions or the functional internal behavior of the system can be represented using dynamic modeling. So in dynamic modeling, if you want to go for dynamic modeling of your system, we need to go for state chart diagrams and activity diagrams. In yesterday class itself, in theory part, we discussed the state chart diagrams will show the external behavior of your systems. So that will show the runtime behavior, that is dynamic behavior of your system. But in special, that will we will focus on the external behavior, external say the how the user is interacting with the functions and how the function is functioning, how the what is the external view or the end user perspective view of the system can be represented using state chart diagram. External representation, external events can be represented using state chart diagram. And in activity diagram, the internal behavior, what are the functions we are executing, how the functions are interacting with each other within the internal system. Say it may call the accept function, then it will send the data to the processing function. Say for example, if it is ATM transaction, it will accept the username and password, PIN number from the end user. Internally, it will verify the username and password is matching with the default values, whether the person is authorized person or he is already registered or is using the fake or is trying to hack or something, that will be detected. Internally, it will the authorization process, internal verification process will be done by that can be represented using activity diagram. So the internal transactions after accepting how much money they want to debit from their card, so it will go and check for whether the balance is matching with the debiting money and is minimum balance is maintained or not, or they eligible to withdraw the money. So how many transactions they can perform at a day, whether the maximum limit is reached or not. Those things can be internal, checking the constraints, checking the validity, checking for the various other schemas and queries. That will be that representation, internal activities of your system is represented using activity diagram. For that only we are using internal nodes and decision making nodes. Then we have we are using the special kind of representation like forks, join and renderers. So the activity diagram is used to represent the internal behavior. So the state chart diagram, both the activity diagram, both are dynamic diagrams only. So by using that, we can represent the dynamic representation of your project, of your system or the project. So here they given you some brief idea. So just we'll go through the brief idea what they are telling about the state chart diagram and activity diagram. So they are giving some objective. After completing the experiment, you will be able to identify the distinct states of your system and identify the events causing transitions from one state to another state. So they are giving you an example experiment. So if you try this example and if you go through the content, you will be able to identify for the given problem or the given project, you will be able to identify what are the different states in the given project. That you can able to identify if you follow the if you try to solve this experiment, and you can able to perform the various transitions within the system. So you can able to identify the events caused to transition from one state to another. Represent the above information pictorially using simple states. So you can represent the various states of your project in the pictorial form, graphical form, using this diagram. Identify activities representing basic units of work and represent from their flow. So you can able to identify the various activities of your system and how the transactions are processing of one after each other in a flow of activities. So that is these are the main objectives. So they're given you some time and they're given you some explanation about what is state chart diagram. In the case of object-oriented analysis and design, a system is often abstracted by one or more classes with some well-defined behavior and states. We know very well we are using object-oriented modeling concepts. So using this state diagram, we can represent the internal and external behavior of your system. A state chart diagram is a pictorial representation of such a system with all its states and different events and that lead transition from one another. So we can represent the various states of your system and how the transactions or the functions are interacting with each other in a flow of activities. To illustrate this, consider the computer science, some possible states that could have or running shutdown. So they given you some scenario. So so to understand in detail, yesterday also we discussed, again we will see the various states. So the building blocks of state chart diagram are, we will have state. So we need to, for the given problem statement or the project specification, you need to identify what are the, because it is state chart diagram, you need to represent the various states of your project. So you need to identify the various states. So the state, after identifying the states or the functions, you need to identify which is the initial state, which is the final state, what are the functions will come under the intermediate state. So for the given project, you need to identify all the transactions or all the functions. Once the transactions and the functions are identified, then you need to classify the transactions and functions as initial state, final state, and which is the starting state of your system, which is the final state, end result, and what are the intermediate transactions that you need to classify. And for these three states, we are using three special symbols. So the solid circle, bolded circle is used to represent the starting state, and the intermediate states are represented within rectangle with the curved corners, and the state names will be specified within the states names will be specified within the rectangle with the curved corners, and the final state or end state is presented with the double circles. Internal circle is solid. And other main elements we need to consider are name of the component. So which component or which function we are executing, that should be represented inside the box. Internal transitions compartment. So contains a list of internal activities performed as long as the system is in the state. So we will specify the starting state and end state. In between we have intermediate transactions. Each and every intermediate transaction should be represented in rectangle boxes, and the name of the transaction should be written inside the box. And the flow, how one transaction is interacting with the other transaction, is represented through the association. And we are using the entry point, exit point, do and include. So here we can represent the repetitions like do, while do. Conditions can be checked. To checking the conditions only, we are using join, fork, and render is. So they are giving you a typical state in a state chart diagram. So we have a state chart. So this is one state. How we are representing a particular state in your state chart diagram is, so the state name should be represented in the first row. In the second row, we will specify whether it is an entry state, or it is an entry and performing an action, or it is an exit state, exit, the final state, or termination state. So the state name should be specified in the first column, first row. The second state will specify which kind of operation the state is performing, whether it is an entry operation or exit operation or intermediate operation, that should be specified. So this is the typical state representation. So we'll have the state name followed by the a description about the state, specifying whether it is an entry or exit or the intermediate process. So within the transition or intermediate state, it may be an event. It may perform some particular operation. So are you able to follow me? Is there any doubt? Yeah. It may be a condition checking, because we are using conditional decision making nodes also we are using the decision making, that is a diamond symbol. We will check whether the process is a decision making process or it is an intermediate or operation process, and action expression. So if you are performing a particular operation or if you are executing an action, that should be specified in the transition state. Then here they are showing you the one state, state A and state B. The state A and state B are interacting with each other through an association. On the association line, we are writing the label, and we are specifying which kind of transaction is what is the output from the transaction A, and that is given as input to the transaction B. The description about the association or the operation which is transferred is specified on the association label. Say even event, God, condition, or action, expression. So here we will specify the description about the transaction between transaction A and transaction B. So next we have guidelines for drawing state chart diagram. So these are the guidelines we should follow while drawing the diagram for the system to develop, identify the distinct states that it possesses through. So you would read the given problem statement or project statement. After reading that, you find out the specific states or more important states or the action to be performed from the given problem. So the action or major transactions should be identified that should be represented as a state. Identify the events and the precondition, the causes of the state transition. Often those would be the methods of the class as identified in the class diagram. So we should identify the major methods or the transitions that we should perform, and as well as to execute that particular transaction, what are the preconditions should be. If the preconditions are satisfied, then only it should come to the particular state. So we will check for the conditions and other constraints and queries. Identify what activities are performed while the system remains in the state. So within the state, what are the various other activities we are performing? That should be internal sub-operations or sub-functions that should be represented in the diagram. So these are the major things we should remember about activity diagram. So in activity diagram, we'll have activities, we'll have flow of actions that should be represented. If you are making any decision by checking the logical or relational expression, that should be specified using decision-making states or decision-making blocks. So if the results are true or false, if the decision is true, what set of operations will perform. If the decision is false, what are the things we need to do, that also specified. And we'll have yesterday itself we discussed, we have three special notations. Merge means multiple inputs to one function and one output from the function. So that is called merge. Fork means multiple inputs and multiple outputs, and join means single input, multiple outputs. So those notations should be represented in your diagram. And node means the node where the actual operation is performed, or we can have special nodes also. So nodes are used to represent additional description about the transaction. Say it may be we can add the when we are updating the content, and what is the version of the particular flow diagram, who created. So additional notations or please note the nodes can be represented. And within, if your state chart diagram is very complicated, if it is having so many internal operations, then you can divide the whole process into so many portions or partitions. So we will subdivide the process into first part, second part, or for each transaction or sub-function or component can be subdivided. We can go for multiple state chart diagrams for different activities. Then we can combine together to get the final overall system diagram. So the various symbols what we are using is activity. So if you take UML, the activity diagram and sequence diagrams will use some symbols, as well as the flow of action should be clearly mentioned. So it may look like some complicated diagram, but other use case diagram, class diagram, object diagram, or if you go for deployment diagram and the component diagram, so they are all simple diagrams. They will have very less number of notations, and the associations in between the transactions and the users will be easily represented. But here, state chart diagram, in activity diagram, we are representing the internal operations. You should be very clear with your internal operations. What are the sequence of activities we are performing? What are the conditions we are checking? How we are making the decision? If you are known all those things, then the internal representation should be represented. So you should think about the logic. We should consider all the. We should make use of all the special symbols and notations. Then we will come out with the clear state chart diagram. Say for example, the main symbols what we are using in state chart diagram are, this is the activity symbol, and the flow of action is represented using an arrow, pointed arrow, and decision making. So an input is given, so the logic is checked here. If the logic relational operation is true, a set of operations to be performed. False, another set of operations to be performed. The branching should be represented, and this is the decision making. Then true or false. So here this is merge. So we are giving more than one input to the decision making, and it produces only one output. So this is called merge notation. And if you take fork notation, fork is one input, two outputs, or one input, multiple outputs. So the system or the state is accepting only one input, produces multiple outputs. And if you take join, we are giving multiple inputs to the state and it produces only one output. A node, a simple node will have a folded a rectangle with folded corners. So within that we will specify the description. So by using the notations, they drawn and simple diagram. Say for example, fill up the form. So yes, a person is accessing the website. So he is logging in. He is filling up the form. So it may be a registration process. So if the forms or all the columns are filled properly, so no error means submit the form. So you will end the state, starting state, end state, intermediate states. So filling the data in the registration form and submitting the data to the system. These are the internal form, operations. So this is a simple state transition diagram. So I think any doubts in the theoretical aspects? Ours is only theory only, but anyhow, we have enough time. So we'll discuss further about the same UML diagrams, and we will discuss how this can be represented using virtual labs as well as in star UML. So this is about can we have the self-evaluation? Shall we go with this, or shall we go with the design part? Shall we go with this self-evaluation? Students, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can we go with these questions, or we'll want to go to directly?
Ma'am,
Okay, say for example, they given you, yeah. Tell me, hereafter, whatever you ask, in that way only I'm going to take class, because so I need your feedback, I need your interaction. So they given you some self-evaluation questions. So what does, yeah, Kritika, yeah, tell me, shall we go with this self-evaluation or shall we go with exercise? Kritika?
Ma'am, we can do the self-evaluation.
Yeah. What does an entry action of state indicates? So what is the entry action? So the action performed after the system moves into the given state. So that is the first option. Action performed after the system moves into the given state. Or second option, action performed before system moves into the given state. So the third option, an optional action performed when the system moves into the given state. Which is the answer? Yeah, can anybody answer? What is the answer for this? Hari Krishna Reddy. Yeah, anybody can answer? Amrit Kumar. Kirtana. Achal Singh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
is the answer for the first question? What is an entry action of your state? Entry action means what? Which one option? Which option? A, B, C? Tell me some answer. We will click on that. Option A, B, or C. So entry means we will enter. We will start from the start state. After the start state, we will enter into the first transaction. So that is called entry action. So which statement defines that process? a state can contain one or more substates within it. So is it true or false? Within a state, can we have substates? What does forking of several activities from a synchronization point indicate? Fork means what? All of the activities should be executed one after another. The activities can be performed in parallel. One or more activities could be skipped. Which is the correct answer? Okay, shall we have an poll now? Or shall we go to the exercise? So we are entering into the exercise. We'll try some state chart diagrams. So they given you two exercise. If you click on exercise, are you able to see the screen? If you click on, I am clicking first exercise. So the first experiment is draw a state chart diagram to graphically represent the following system. So consider a bulb with a push down switch. So we are taking a bulb. So it's having a push down switch. If you switch on the push down button, it will be on. And the bulb initially remains off when the switch is pushed down. So initially the bulb will be in the off state, and the switch will be in the down state, push down state. The bulb is on again when the switch is pushed up, the bulb turns off. So we have a bulb. So if you daily we are using in our house we have bulbs. So we know very well the bulbs are connected with the switches. So initially the switches will be in off state only, push down state. So if you click on the push down, if you push up, the light will glow. So as long as we switch on the bulb, switch on the switch, it will be in on state. Again, if you want to switch off the light, if you push down the button, then it will come to the off state. So this is the very simple state of an bulb. So this is the life cycle. So the bulb, we have bulb, and we have to push down a switch. The switch can take two states: switch on state and switch off, push on and push down state. And the switch, the bulb may go to on state and off state. So and as long as the bulb is in, the life cycle of the bulb continues in this way until it gets damaged. So as long as the bulb is in good condition, we can switch on and switch off. So this is the given scenario. For this given scenario, we need to draw the state chart diagram. So they given you some points also. What are the different states of bulb? So what are the different states of the bulb? Can you tell me, because you need to answer. What are the in the bulb switch on switch off state of a bulb? What are the different states?
On and off.
Yeah, on and off state. So we have two states. And what activities are performed on each state? What are the operations we are performing? On state, what we are doing? Yes, we'll push down the button. If you push down the button, it will go to down is for on state. Up, push up means it is for off state. So if you push down, it will go to on state. If you push up, then it will go to on state. What action does make the bulb move from one state to another state? How it will go from on state to off state? If you operate the switch, it will automatically go to on state to off state. Push up will bring it to off state. Push down will bring it to on state. So learning objectives: identify different states of the system. So this, what are the different states of the given scenario? On state and off state. And for the switch, push up state and push down state. Identify activities performed in each state. In each state, if it is in what are the operations we can perform? If it is in off state, we can bring it to on state. If it is on state, we can bring down to off state. So limitations: a complex system often has substates which is not covered as part of this lab. The following interface only let you represent simple states. Please check out the interface section to know more about them. So for the given scenario, we need to identify. So what are the states we can add? So we can add on state. Are you able to see the VLabs page. The page is visible to you. Is there any doubt so far?
No, ma'am.
The page is visible to you, VLabs.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So now we added one state, on state. Then we know very well there is another state called off state. So we added off state also. So list of system states are on state, off state. The another state is there any other state? No, because it is a very simple representation. No need to go for installation start, or we are no need to go for say reset. So those sleep, that is not possible here. So just we taken two states, on state and off state. So then initial activities of the state. So the initial activities can be, it may be in off state. So in off state, what is the label? So we can give, it is in off state, we can go for entry. And the action expression is we can switch on. So we are switching on the action we want to switch on. So that action we are performing. So it's added list of system states. So it is initial state is off state. We are entering into the room. We want to switch on the state, that is added. Then if it is on state, we will switch on. If off state, it is switch on. If it is on state, what we will do? We want to exit from the room. So we are switching off the bulb. So what operation we can perform? Switch off we are performing. So now we have a list of system states are, it is system is in on state, the bulb is in on state, we are exit from the room, we want to switch off and we will go out from the room, and we are entering into the room and the bulb is not on, so we are switching on the bulb, then it will go to on state. So we added two states, on state and off state. Then we added some internal activities of the state, we added switch on and switch off. Then we would like to add some node. So what kind of node we can add is on state. What kind of node we can add? Can you tell me? Before switching on the light, what we will do? We will check whether the current is there, power supply is there. Or what kind of condition we can check? Is there any constraint or a precondition to be checked? That we can mark it as node. Yeah, anybody can answer? Swati? What are the conditions we can check? So we can add some node as prerequisite is power is on or not. Power on, state we like to check. And the position, left, right, top, down. Okay, we added some note also. So now we want to define the transitions. So now in the transitions, we'll have current state, next state, even to be the action to be performed, and God condition, any constraint or condition need to be checked, and what kind of operation we are performing, that should be specified. So here we will take the current state. So we will take the current state is, it is in off state because it is the initial state. The next state we want to go is, from off state to we want to go to on state. Then the event to be performed is switch on. So we want to switch on, or we can use a push up. They are using the push up and push down. They specified push down switch, and push switch is push down, and bulb is on. So the same we are they specified some operations as push down and are you able to follow the thing? So the operation they given some specification, we should make use of the same. So event, what we like to do is push down switch. So if it is event, it is a function, so it should be a single name. And God condition is, we can check the power is on. Action is, so off state to on state, we are pushing down the button. Then we'll need to check the condition is power is on. Then action performed will be, it will go to bulb is on. So we added one transaction, the internal operation. So now we will try, that is added. Now we'll try with the diagram, how it is looking like. So it's asking to add one more initial state to another state. So we'll start initial state. It is initial state is it is off state, and the event is we want to switch on, and God condition is power on. Action is push up the switch. So we added one more precondition. So this is the precondition, and this is the initial state, and we need to add final condition also. The final condition is we want to final. So in final condition, we want to go to off state only. The event is switch off. We want to switch off, and God condition is exit. You are just exiting from the exit from the room. Action is we will perform the action as push up switch. So in the list of state transitions, we have an initial state, we have a final state, and we have an final state, and intermediate state also we have. So if possible, we'll have some. So we have initial state, final state, on state, off state. We have some current state also. Current state is it is on state. The event is bulb is on. God, no God condition. Action is bulb is on. So God condition, we will say switch is on. So already we have state, final, on state, off state, then we'll have final state. So already the final state is there. Then we need to select the final state. So we have initial state to final state to, and off state to on state. Then here we'll have current state is initial, we'll go to final state, and event is already we have the states and activities. The activities we have on, off, and the node. Okay. So we'll have initial state to final state. We'll add an event. Switch out. So whatever we define that, we need to use the same words. So we already defined the activities as on state, off state. Those are the activities. And initial state, final state, and the action is on state, off state only. So we'll use God condition, action is so for the given specification, we got the state transition diagram. Are you able to see the state transition diagram? Kritika?
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah, anybody can explain the content? Charan?
Ma'am, I have one doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, can any state activity diagram be in a loop?
Yeah, we can have, if you are repeating the process for n number of times, say for example, in traffic light signal, or say in ATM system, if customer is logging into the system, so he entered the, inserted the ATM card and given the username and password, that is verification is done, he is an authorized person. So then he is performing the first transaction, say he is withdrawing the money. Again, it will ask, the system will ask, you want to repeat the process or you want to exit. So if you want to do any other transaction, or you want to repeat the process. So again, if you select yes, it will again go back and it will, you can choose the option, again withdraw another one more time. Or we can go for mini statement. So one time you are logging into the system using password in ATM system. So you are withdrawing the money first time. Without coming out from the system, again you can go back, choose the another action as taking the mini statement. After again it will ask, you want to continue with the process, you want to do any other transaction. Again, if you say yes, it will go back and show the main menu. In that time, you can change the address, or you can change the password, or you can change the reset the PIN number, or you can change the mobile number, or you can go for loan, say savings account to current account, or you can check the mini statement or balance, or you can so you can repeat, do the process, or you can withdraw one more time, second time, third time. So in that case, we can have looping. So the process is again, you want to continue the process, yes, again go back and go back to the main menu or go back to the same process. You want to withdraw some more money, go back to the same previous process. Again, you need to specify how much you want to withdraw. So first time I am withdrawing 3,000. Again, second time I am withdrawing 5,000. The third time also I am withdrawing 7,000. So we can have looping. So here we will represent looping. So in the previous class we saw the state transition with the looping structure. Na? You got the idea, Kritika?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think so. This is for the given as a problem statement. They given you the problem statement, a bulb switch on and switch off state. So we defined the functions. We defined the states like on state, off state. Then we created the note also for on state and off state. Then we created the states like on state and off state. What are the things we are doing? Then we created the list of the transactions by choosing the current state, next state, event and condition, action, and then we got 4 transactions. Off state to push on, and it will go checking the condition for power on. Then if you go to bulb is on state. Initial state to switch on state, final state to switch off state, on state to on state. So for the given in a sequence, it created the state transition diagram. Say we are in the initial starting state and we have the end state. Switch on, power, we are checking the precondition, power is on. Then push up the switch. Push up the switch. Then it will go to off state to on. We are entering into this room. We are switching on the switch. Then push push down the switch button. We are pushing down the switch button. So the power is on and the bulb will become on. So we are in the on state now. Initially we are in starting state, off state, then on state. In on state, we want to go out. So again we will check for power is on. If power is on, we need to switch off the bulb. So we are going to exit state. So what we are on state to switch off state when power is off. Then we are exiting from the process. So this is a simple state chart diagram. I think so. Okay. So you got the idea how we are drawing the state transition diagram. You got it? The same way you draw on your own. Last class itself, I told you to draw an use case modeling diagram and send it to me. Radish, Chetan Reddy. Okay, I think Kritika Jain answered the questions option B, and Omkar, he answered option A. Again, Kritika B for the 4th question, option B. Few people are entering into the logging into the system just now. And okay, any doubt in the state chart diagram? They given you another example also, that also you can try. Shall we go to the next topic?
Yes, ma'am.
So in the so they given you one more example for activity diagram also. So they given you a second problem statement specification. Let us consider the development activities of software engineering virtual lab. The process begins by checking out the code from So version necessary modifications are then made to the checked out code. So they given you scenario, how would you represent a testing of the application with multiple browsers, and the code can generate generation of the patch file and update the version done concurrently. So production code and updating the repository can be done parallel. So they given you the second scenario. We need to identify the basic units of the work and visualize the workflow activities, and that could be done in parallel stage from where progress could made after the list of criteria is satisfied. So for the given second experiment also we can try. Okay, I will launch a poll now because I already prepared the poll. I am launching the poll. Please answer the poll. It's based on activity diagram and state transition diagram. Can you answer the poll? Yeah, the first question has multiple incoming and multiple outgoing transitions. In a activity diagram, join or fork or renderers, which is having multiple incoming and multiple outgoing. Because we were discussing about the activity diagram specifications yesterday, today. And the second question, activity diagram, most transitions are caused by. So the using activity diagram, we can represent internal events or external events. And the third question, dash as one incoming transition and multiple outgoing transitions. One incoming, multiple outgoing. Fork or join, which one? And the fourth one, dash as multiple incoming transition and one outgoing transition, whether it is join or fork. Fifth one, which is the major advantage of using incremental mode, incremental model. So which one is, why we are going for incremental model? Incremental model means we do the analysis, design, development and coding. We'll check for review. If anything is need to be modified or upgraded, again we'll go back. We'll go again, we will try analysis, design, everything. So it is like iterative model. So we'll repeat the process for a number of times until we'll get the efficient result. So that is called incremental model. So what is the main advantage of using incremental model? So they given you three options: easy to test and debug. It is used when there is a need to get a product to the market early. The second answer is customer can respond to each increment. Third one, it is used when there is need to get a product to the market early. So which one? Why we are going for incremental model? So in incremental model, we can do the updations or we can change anything according to the need at any time. So it is an iterative process. So I think in chemistry, you might have done some experiments, iterations. We'll take a pipette and burette and we'll add some potassium, magnesium, we'll add some sulfuric acid, we'll try for the values. We may get the result as 78%. Again, we'll take the same solution, we'll add the same molecules, same ingredients. Again, we'll do the iteration. The second time you may get, first time it is 76, second time it may be 77, but the typical ideal value is 78. So until we'll get the 78, we'll try the iteration. The same process will be repeated again and again, and we'll take the average. So like that. The same way in a project also, we'll try some statements, we'll create the function, we'll execute. If you are getting the correct result, leave it. If something is stuck, if it is not working, we'll change the variable, we'll change the data type, we'll change the statements from for loop to while loop. Or we'll, instead of calling call by value, we'll go for call by reference. We may use some pointers, or we may introduce some derived functions or friend functions. So like that, we can modify the content and we can improve the efficiency of the project. So that is the main advantage of incremental model. The second one is incremental model is result of combination of elements of which of the two models. So we know very well, already we discussed the most of the models what we are using is based on the traditional software development model or waterfall model. So we'll take the waterfall model stages like analysis, design, development, coding and testing. The same stages are used in spiral model, Indian spiral model, but with some advanced features. We'll add some additional elements. Even in agile process as well as in prototype model, component development model, or object-oriented software development model. In all models, spiral model, win-win spiral model, all models we are using the same software development waterfall model stages along with some additional parameters or additional new stages. So they given you some answers. So the incremental model is combination of whether linear model and prototype model, or build and fix model, build fix model and waterfall model, or waterfall model and RAD model. So this model is combination of two models put together. So please all of you answer your attendance also. So the poll results I will download the poll results. That mocks will also be added. I think this week module 3 instead of assignment, this mocks will be, I will download this poll result because we have 6 questions. That's what I created more questions. So we have 6 questions. This will be taken as your assignment 3 for module 3. This week assignment. If you answered this, I will download the poll results that I will upload in Google Sheet, or you can see the result. Based on this, mocks will be given. Okay, all of you are answer your attendance also in the chat box. So you go through the content. Next week also, again, we will try with activity diagram, deployment diagram, as well as interaction diagram. We will try one experiment with the star UML interaction diagram, one sequence diagram, one component diagram. Then you will come to know, already we tried use case modeling, use case diagram also will try again with star UML. Then we will proceed with the next chapter. So if you have any doubt or if you have any idea, you please message me, or the CR, you please collect the feedback from the students. If they want any additional notes, or they want a more experiment, or they want MCQs, I will upload one more MCQ in Google Classroom so that you can practice yourself. I will upload one MCQ with 15 questions based on module 2 and 3 using UML in the Google Classroom. So that will be useful for your final MCQ practice. Okay, all of you answered your attendance. Vishnu, Rana, all of you answered your attendance. Please answer your attendance and complete the poll. If you have any doubt, shall we have one more doubt clarification section, or shall we proceed further? CR, Swati and Kritika. Who is the CR? I will share this week, including this week attendance, Excel sheet with you. You just go through the attendance, and if possible, I will share with the 5A and 5B class WhatsApp group itself. You will go through your attendance, because we are going to enter the attendance in ERP system also. Then ERP system will automatically calculate your attendance percentage. You go through your attendance percentage, and minimum you should have 80 to 85%. Okay, shall we end the class? If you have any more doubts?
No doubts, ma'am.
Okay, shall we go through the content? If possible, I will add one small experiment. You can try with virtual lab or star UML, and I will add one more practice MCQ test based on UML with the 10 or 15 questions. and I will share the attendance, class attendance. Already evaluated assignment 1 and 2. Some people are not yet submitted. You please try to submit. And for assignment 2, in our syllabus, we are studying 6 process models. You refer website and add one more software process model and submit 7 process model as assignment 2. Okay. Or if you don't know, now you will submit only 6 process models. Okay. Shall we end the class? All of you answered your attendance?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you want to see the poll result? Yeah, I will share the poll result. I'm ending the poll. I'm sharing the result. Are you able to see the result? Poll result is visible to you?
गलत सही एक सही
Question number A. The answer is renderers. Second one, the answer is activity diagram, internal events, and fork as one incoming and multiple outgoing, and join as multiple incoming and one outgoing. And the major advantage of using incremental modeling is easy to test and debug, and it is used when there is need to get a product to the market early. So we can easy to debug, and we can submit the project very early, or we can launch the product to the market. And the sixth one, incremental model is combination of linear model and prototyping model. You got the idea? You saw the results? Okay,
Yes,
I will,
ma'am.
yeah, stop the sharing. So if you answered your attendance, you can attend the next class. Shall I end the class?
Yes,
Shall
ma'am.
I end? Yeah. Thank you. You go through the content. If you have any doubt, you WhatsApp me or you call me.